Yeah. So here we
Here we go.
go.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, we've got peeps.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I'm really excited to have my guests on today. Today I have my good friend Anne-Marie Morales with me from Anne-Marie Healing Arts, and she just started a new podcast. I'm really excited for her about that. So, we'll give her channel out. You guys can all go subscribe to her channel, and she just put a comment in the chat, so you guys can go follow her there. But she suggested that we have on the guest tonight, Nanichy. So we're gonna kind of do like a dual interview, like Anne Marie and I will be interviewing Nanichy. And I wrote a little thing about it. I wrote tonight on the Typical Skeptic podcast, returning fan favorite Anne Marie Morales of Anne Marie Healing Arts joins me to the show to introduce her friend Nanichy Negron, who shares a fascinating and controversial story involving psychic abilities, covert programs, and alleged government with Galactic Federation and White Hat operations. According to Nanichy, her psychic abilities were recognized at a young age, leading her to being used as a child psychic spy in covert intelligence operations, connected advanced programs, and off-world alliances. So it's going to be really awesome. And you can follow Anne Marie at Anne-Marie, at AMM Hypno and Intuitive Arts. And then Nanichy is, and we'll get her information. Yeah. And I'd like to give everybody a big warm welcome to the show. Anne Marie, Nanichy, thank you guys for coming on. How is everybody?
We're doing good, thanks. Well, I'm doing good. Sorry, Marie.
That's okay. Everything's wonderful. Thanks for having us on, Rob. This is exciting.
Yeah. So Anne Marie, did you want to start us off because you initially interviewed Nanichy and you saw something really interesting that wanted you to bring her on? Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, Nanichy reached out to me over a year ago, and I began to help her, as I have with many people who have had secret space program or project experiences. And her story was just so compelling that we worked for every week for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
She has grown so much that she's sharing her story now. And so, I'm not going to take that away. I'm going to just go ahead, Nani. On my channel, there are 3 videos surrounding her, and I call her affectionately Starseed Nani.
That's
so
awesome.
Off you go. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing her on and introducing us. And Nani, for short, I guess. Nani, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your story. How did this all start? And take us through it.
Oh, wow. Well, everything started from real early childhood. The furthest memory I have is 3 years old. Since I was 3 years old, I could see different beings, not just spiritually, but different vibration. Though I learned the differences later, and I also had a lot of visions, premonitions, and I came into contact with extraterrestrials, both positive and negative extraterrestrials. And during that time, there was like a battle over who I would go and work with, because we have free will, and they cannot actually force you to do something. You have to make your own choice, but they can influence you in that. So I was still so confused about what was going on, so I was right in the middle. And when I was rescued from the darker entities, that's when I went into a special program with other children.
What was that like? What was the program? Do you remember? Was it would you say it was something like the Montauk Project, or was it more like what was it, like psychic training for children, or what happened?
Can I interject for a second?
Sure, yeah.
It's very similar to the story that Jean-Charles Moyen speaks about, where he was on a ship with other children his age, some earthly, Earth children, and non-terrestrial and non-terrestrial children, so other races. So she and Jean-Charles have a very similar story here.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So was it off world where you went, Nanny?
Well, it was off world and it was on Earth as well. Um, we would go on both ways, but the first time it was actually off world. Because of the experiences that I had with the negative ETs, I had to go into sort of counseling with the other children before I could go into affecting the program.
Yeah. Wow. And we'll talk about like what happened in this program. What did you have to experience?
Okay. Well, what I remember the most are the classrooms. We were in these big classrooms and different ET. Some were more humanoid, some were more um, mystical, let's say, mystical kind of creature, like the blue avians, the birds and all. And we started learning different computer programs, technology, maps. I don't know. It was so crazy. Everything was so crazy. Sometimes I get snippets of memories, and sometimes it goes back. Because at least for the people that I work with, I don't know how it is with other groups. Once we come back, we're not really allowed to remember. It's more like a need to know basis. But when I tap into a memory, the information just comes back. And I remember it got to a point where we started doing little things like building. I remember the technology, kind of like cell phones, but you were communicating with other dimensions. And then it gradually changed from building those little trinkets to building spaceships.
Wow.
Yeah, and what was interesting about that is that a lot of people think that it's really difficult to build the ship, but it's not that hard at all. Sorry, getting windy.
It's
Uh,
okay.
be- because the ship itself is built with consciousness. We
Yeah.
make what do you call it? The diagrams, like the mandala.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You make those symbols around the place where you want to build, and what they did is that we made those symbols, and they had each of us sitting in a circle around it, and they got us into a state of mind where we willed the ship to life. The hard part was building the inside where you would build the computers and the monitors and all of that. That was the difficult part. That's the most vivid memory I have as a kid working in that school, let's say.
Yeah. And what were you there? Were there extraterrestrials in the classes with you? Do you remember?
Yeah. Yes,
Wow.
there were.
Mm-hmm.
The one I remember the most was a blue alien, kind of like what we see in the Arturian.
That's fascinating.
I found it so curious. I found him so curious because he was blue, he was big, and it got to a point as we were growing up with each other in those classrooms He was wearing like a turban.
So he was trying to take on human culture or something, or what? Like,
No, what I remember is that he, let's say, like a higher rank.
okay, okay, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, we were really different. Every one of us had our own abilities, but they taught all of us, to work as a team. In my case, because I was so quiet, um, I could be so still where I couldn't be perceived.
yeah.
So then, whenever we would do certain missions, I would be the one to go forth first and scan the area, and then return with the information.
What kind of missions do you remember them having you do? Were they off world missions, on planet missions? Just curious.
Well, most of them were on Earth, um, particularly rescue missions. Uh, because we would target places where they were cultivating dark entities, like hauntings, possessions, things like that. They actually use that to concentrate dark energy and use it to open portals to the darker side. So we would have to go there and clean up. But there were other times when we would have to rescue people, not just Earthlings, but from other worlds that were trapped, imprisoned, beneath the earth. A lot of them were used as food. Some were used for breeding. Uh,
And hybrid, right? Hybrid experiments.
yeah, and experimentations.
A lot of
Yeah.
experimentation. So when we started working together, the way that I assist people is that we go into the hypnotic state, which takes us into the other realms. And Nani would take me, and her soul would go to these to dumbs. We would go to dumbs. We went to a hidden artificial island exactly in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And
Right.
this was a base where they were doing all these hybrid experiments. And she took us there. And I actually went on Google Maps or Google Earth. And if if you go to a certain spot on the planet, all you see is water. There's no land there at all. And
Can I
so
ask you a
this
question, Anne Marie?
yeah,
Was it an undersea base? Because I remember like Renetta Jones would talk a lot about the undersea bases too. She said not a lot of people realize that they've been involved in these programs that are like undersea. Was that kind of what you guys were, where you went and
yeah.
stuff?
Nani, go
Correct.
ahead, and do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There are many bases, not just underwater, but above our heads as well. But
Yeah.
because they use, special technology, we can't really see it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Wow.
Something that's really, really interesting is that, okay, work with me on this one. It may sound like I'm changing the subject, but I promise you I'm not. You know that stupid little song that from Disney, It's a Small World After All?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a very specific program to make us believe the earth is smaller than it actually is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because a lot more earth that
Earth
that
is larger than what we think it is.
exactly. And actually, there's a map, I think from the 17th, 18th century, of the entire world. And the guy who made the map, I think he was killed. I don't really remember. If you can find it, I know it's from the 18th century. And you open the map, there is uh there's a lot of other continents and countries that we don't see today.
You know
A
what,
lot of
Nanny? I would totally agree with that. The flat, I don't believe in flat Earth, but I think the flat earthers were onto something when they would talk about that there's an ice wall and that there's territories outside the ice wall. I don't even know if there's an ice wall, but I think exactly like you said, I think there's more territories that we're not being told about where other civilizations exist underground and then on this Earth. I think it's a lot more vast than we can ever imagine. Underneath us, like inner earth tunnels and maglev train systems and all that. And then I think those connect to underwater bases, and then that all connects to off world civilizations, but they're on planet. They're like you said, they're existing in other places. And what do you think about
Exactly.
that?
Well, the ice wall is actually very real. It is very real, and the ice wall is actually a oh my god, what do you call it? Uh, ah, like a dome. Only it's in the ice wall because right there is where that those territories are divided, controlled, and forbidden from everyone else. That's why everyone who gets close to the ice wall or wants to see the ice wall are either returned, um, imprisoned, or killed.
Wow.
Those are the options.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those are the options. Um, Fortunately, a lot of the underground DOMs have been cleaned up by the Galactic Federation.
And that was one of the cool things that we did, that the intel that she brought up when we were doing our sessions. So Nani was depositing small bits of her soul as a marker as to where she went so that they could go back and go back there. And so we did a soul retrieval process. And we went to how many parts of your soul did we get back?
Oh, I think it was 7.
Like 7 different locations off planet and on and under, where we went and retrieved bits of her soul.
Yeah.
And I just want to also point out, first of all, that for her to be on, for Nanichy to be on, it is reflective of great personal work and spiritual growth. And because people who go through these programs it's a difficult go. It's not easy. It's not easy to have your soul split and to try and function as a human on this dimension. It's not easy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing
kudos.
It wasn't that. It's but I had so many attempted assassinations that it made it even harder.
Mhm.
Wow. One thing I wanted to tell the audience, and maybe the audience isn't completely sure, but so what happened, guys, is and so Anne Marie just did an interview on Nanny. They actually did sessions together. Like for you guys that are familiar with Anne Marie, she does hypnotic regression and she does soul retrieval. Does very advanced healing stuff. So she took Nanny through these processes, and that's what they're referring to when they went back and they did these soul retrievals. And yeah, I thought I wanted to kind of make that clear. That way people understand what you guys did. Yeah. Kind of like how Misha Johnson does with Olivia James all the time. So what would you say, Anna Marie? Did you guys do like soul retrieval sessions, like regression sessions, or both?
We did whatever she needed at the time. And so I've always, I've worked with a lot of program experiencers, including, Erica Amarina.
Yeah, I love her. She's a good friend. Yeah.
She's amazing. And I worked with her early on with her. And let's see, Crystal Moreno, who was also in a 20 and back and a hybrid mother. I've worked with her. And my philosophy is if you heal you, where you are right here and now on this earth plane. You're going to heal all the aspects of you. And so that's why, and how I've been working with Nanichy. And when it was time for her to go retrieve her soul fragments, we were there to do it. And we did it. I'd kind of like you to talk, Nanichy, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this, or maybe we did. I don't remember. How was it when you got your soul fragments back? And what differences did you notice?
Well, the immediate shift that I felt, it's like I had crossed a completely different timeline.
Mhm.
It's like I recognize my surroundings, but this is not what I remember, because I was tapping into lost memories that were in those fragments. But at the same time, the parts of me from those fragments were seeing this whole space for the very first time. So it was so strange. It was almost like imposter into a whole new level.
Mm.
Wow.
A really, really hard time adjusting to sleep, and I was really paranoid at first. Anytime I heard an airplane, don't beat me up, don't beat me up. I was terrified.
Yeah.
And to come back, it's like, what am I terrified about? I've dealt with these things before. And it was those things that were reacting to it, because as a kid, I was abducted.
Mhm.
So,
What were
what
were you, were
here
you
with particles
sorry?
didn't. Come again?
Yeah. I said, were you abducted by Greys, or was it like a military abduction, or both?
The grays. There were grays, and the last time I was taken, they were more reptilian,
Wow.
like the
Mhm.
draconian, not the typical reptilian, but more like draconian. It was really weird. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen the movie Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver.
No.
Oh,
You
it's the best movie ever. I love
have
that movie. It's
you should.
awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of hints in that movie. Well, the reptiles from that movie were exactly like the ones that I saw in that last ship.
No.
Mhm.
What, can I ask
Well,
you a question, Nanny? Or what's your ethnic background? Are you Native American or Hispanic? Because like I was just wondering, because they say a lot of like abductions happen to a lot of Native American and like Celtic people for some reason, like or in that heritage for some yeah, like
well, I'm Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and I do
yeah,
have a line of native Taino. My name Nanichy is actually Taino.
yeah.
Mhm. And
That's
I'd like to
interesting.
point out also her mom is military. Her
Oh
mom is
yeah,
Wow.
military.
my
Mhm.
military, and a lot of my family as well has
Yeah.
been military. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So, okay, let's take us through this. Like, how is the Galactic Federation involved in this? And like, tell us a little bit about that and what they're doing for the Earth and everything.
Well, because they cannot intervene directly, because that would be violating free will. They do teachings. They do. Oh my God, Marie, help me here. I forgot the words.
That's okay. From her sessions, it really seems like they're handling the cleanup,
Yeah,
and they're also,
yeah,
say it again, Nani.
the tough part, let's say.
Yeah. And
Let's
the
just say
other thing,
they're at the crime scene, but we
yeah.
have to take care of the criminals, because it's
Yeah.
our work.
Okay, yeah. So they're cleaning up. So if you think about all of the experiments, ooh, this is one thing we might want to talk about. There, Nanichy freed. Her specialty was creating portals.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Nani, talk about, remember how we went to that one base and there were all these like miserable hybrids that were
Oh,
just like
that
left there
was
to abandon. It was the saddest thing ever. Talk
thing.
about that. Yeah.
Well, these hybrids were actually old experiments, remnants of old experiments, but from the time of Lemuria. Because these beings, these darker ETs that have been going rampage, up until now, they actually go all the way back from those Lemurian times.
And Atlantean.
And,
Atlantean.
yeah, and Atlantean. But there was one specific lab that was way underground. And that lab is where the first portal to the darkness was opened,
Mm-hmm.
which where the demonic entities came through. And there were a lot of hybrids still imprisoned. Their souls were still imprisoned in there. Uh, and there were half man, half other animals. Some were even part machines.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so these souls have been waiting there. And you have to understand that everything has consciousness. Everything. So even when they were making these horrific hybrids, these hybrids contained consciousness. They had a soul, they had
Yeah.
consciousness, and they were just waiting there. And one thing that Nani did was she opened a portal and freed these and there were ones that had like such malformed bodies
Yeah,
that
almost like melted skin.
yeah. Oh, it was just so sad. But yeah, and I'm seeing in the chat, disregard for life. It's absolutely true. And that's why the Atlanteans got terminated and their whole civilization was wiped out because they had gone too far. And we're at that brink where we are now.
Unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
exactly what CERN is.
Mhm.
They're doing at CERN and those experiments that they want to break through. That's the exact same thing that was done during Atlantis and Lemuria.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's wow.
Fortunately,
So
Yeah.
that's fascinating. What are so they're like they're redoing stuff that was happened in the past. Like what would you say they're trying to like bring that back, Nanny? Like I guess like or something.
yeah, they're they're trying to use that because. Uh, Give me a second. Am I allowed to say it?
So Nanichy is also a very powerful psychic medium. And that's one of the reasons why she was used and selected.
Yeah.
Her father is a very powerful Yoruba
Hmm.
What does that
master.
mean? What does that mean, Anne Marie? Like what's an Aruba?
Okay, to put it simple, it's Santeria.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'm allowed to say it. Okay. So the demon, the demonic being that came through the portal that first time, let's just call him King Darkness. He was the root of everything that started happening afterwards.
Yeah.
But I don't know a lot of details because that was another group that was handling those. They actually managed to destroy and seal back that demon right when the crossing happened in 2012. When you remember that one, The other ascension that happened in 2012.
the end of the
What
Mayan
happened in 2012?
calendar.
A lot of people think a lot of different things happened in 2012, but what's your observation of it? Like,
Um,
I understand it to be the end of the Mayan calendar.
yeah, the end of
yeah,
the Mayan.
So, yeah, it was
and
the
what the
end of the
Mayans
Mayan
thought,
calendar.
yeah, I thought the Mayans thought that like humans would evolve and we would become a new species or something like that. That's
Right.
what I was under, right?
Well,
Mhm.
good time, because energetically and consciously, our entire consciousness during those times was completely focused on there was going to be this big change and something good was going to happen. There's, you know, so because of that, they had enough energy to actually seal the King of Darkness. So what did you have left? You had the minions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So now the minions are falling one by one because the secret for the domination died with the King of Darkness that was sealed. He was no fool. He had his minions, his followers, but there was a very specific information that came through with him, that it's what allowed him to develop the things that have been developed nowadays, like the mind manipulation, free will manipulation, and all of that. Everything ceased. So now they're like headless chickens jumping around. What the hell are we gonna do? So what would be the next best thing? Oh, let's open the portal again. And
So that's what they're doing with CERN.
so they
Wow.
got little heads in turn. But fortunately, that's being managed by a completely different team from the GFL, which is the good news, the really good news. But that's part of the purpose. Also, part of the reason why I'm involved in all of this, because all of us are born exactly where we need to be for our missions. And right now, where I live, it's a really big experiment lab, the entire island, for HARP. It's been developed here in the island, and that's partly why. But yeah, and there was some other thing I wanted to mention, but it completely. Sorry, English is my second language, so I think in Spanish, and then I try to translate, and it gets lost.
That's quite all right. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
it'll come
Yeah,
back to me.
and Nanichy also went and retrieved a part of her soul in a Transylvanian
Oh, yeah,
uh,
one.
castle. And you know that there are dumbs that are military, but there's also dumbs that are elite, just
Yes,
for the elites.
yeah.
Okay. And this dumb was under, just an underground base, not a military, was under a castle where
So,
they would do satanic rituals
mhm,
and harvest the chrome.
yeah,
So we even went down there
yep,
because, so if you got it from the beginning, for those of you who came here, Nanichy had the gift that her soul vibrationally was very still. And so she could project herself astrally into these places and be silent, gather recon, and get out. And
Yeah.
so that's why she was being used.
hmm
So, mhm.
it was a close call a few times whenever I would come back. Um, Not necessarily into my body, but when I would snap out of it, I would have cuts, bruises,
Oh, yeah.
be
Mhm.
dirty, depending on what I was doing. So it that made it even harder to talk about, because nobody's gonna believe it. anything that I have to say. I didn't have anyone I could talk to about it, especially with the premonitions that I would have. I mean, I could predict anything from lottery numbers, which now I cannot do, unfortunately, bastards, to earthquakes and typhoons and plane crash. And I remember there was one time I think it was in '97, the flight that did completely disappeared from I think it was from the US. There was a 27 flight 27, was it?
Oh, I know
The
what you're
one,
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Korean
Uh-huh.
Air. Is it the Korean Air flight?
I don't remember. I was 7 when it happened.
But Nanichi also predicted. She predicted the Fukushima nuclear, not the Fukushima. Well, that happened. The Japan.
Yeah,
Why
uh,
is my mind going blank now?
it was the earthquake.
A flood.
Yeah,
What do you call it? The tsunami. The Japan tsunami.
Yeah.
the
Can I ask you a
Earthquake.
question, Nanny? Have you gotten any weird predictions or any predictions about what's going on over in Iran right now and like the war and anything like that?
Mm. not not exactly. I try um not to follow certain areas if I'm not needed.
Yeah.
So my stays as clear as possible. What I can say is that everything that is happening, it's exactly the way that it has to happen. That's what I can.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Why do you think that? Like, what do you think's going on, like under this, behind the scenes, or like, yeah,
Well, because for us, the way that we've been programmed and in our culture, we have to see things happening with our own eyes. You know, uh, it has to be as real as possible, so our minds can then shift. It's like, oh, this one is imprisoned or this one is dead. It's like, okay, now that that's done, now we can change. Unfortunately, we have to be pushed into such an extreme for change to happen. So behind the scenes, many of them have actually already been taken. Many are being tried by the Federation. A lot of what we see are either doubles or clones or even like projector.
yeah,
Yeah, but they have to play out certain scenarios so that people can make the choices. Another thing is that what places like the entire Middle East, Iran, Israel, all of that, those are battles that have been happening for centuries. A lot of people don't realize it, and they think that protesting it's gonna doing a march is not gonna stop a war that's been happening for thousands of years.
I agree. Yeah, it is.
I'm telling
They have been waiting over there
you
for that. Yeah,
to the viewers. Second, the place with the most portals into other dimensions and parallel universes are in the Middle East.
yeah. My friend that comes on Indigo Angel, she talks about there's a big Stargate there, like Stargate 10. She says, like, it's in right in Iran, like, and that kind of goes back to like Ashiana Dean's stuff, like, so and I guess that Stargate would encompass like Iran, Iraq, because like if you go back to the Iraq War, the big conspiracy theory is that we went there because we were trying to access like ancient relics and stargates and stuff like that. I don't know if we're doing something similar here, with Iran, or like, would you get a feel on that?
Yeah, yeah. The bigger the stargates and portals are right there. There are so many, and what a lot of people don't know is that those portals were actually made with goddess energy, feminine energy. That's why the cultures in those areas suppress women
Yeah.
Mhm.
and control that energy and control those portals.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Do you believe that it will return to like a matriarchy someday? Like that? Like, do you think it'll ever like change?
Mhm.
It will change. It will definitely change. But if we think in terms of either patriarch or matriarch, we're gonna be slowing down because you need both.
Yeah, you need the
You
divine
need
masculine and feminine.
the
Yeah,
divine masculine and divine feminine. Unfortunately, most people, though, we've been in a patriarch society for a long time, but uh, the bad news is men have not been in their higher patriarch energy ever. It's been the lowest because that's how they can manipulate the masculine energy to suppress the female, so they can control all energetically those portals, among other things. So men have to balance and embrace both their masculine and feminine, but women also have to embrace both as well, because we have gone from one side of the pentacle from the other. You know, it doesn't work that way. You cannot be patriarch and you cannot be matriarch. It has to be a balance between the two of them.
yeah, I agree. Now let's talk a little bit about this. When were you used as a psychic spy? Like, did this eventually, like, did your childhood training eventually lead to like SSP experiences where you were used as some kind of psychic spy or something like that?
Yeah, I would do spying not just underground, but in different areas around the world. For example, there were places in South America where for the human trafficking, not just here on Earth, but also our world. And sometimes I would go in those areas to get the information that was needed to free those people.
Yeah.
But other times I was
Wow.
on
Wow, that's
spaceship,
interesting.
and another one. There were two times in particular that I remember. They were ships, but they weren't ships. They were these huge boats, ships. But oh my goodness, they were so huge. It was like an entire city inside of it, just uh, going around in the ocean. And they would, okay, am I allowed to say it? Okay. Harvest organs in those ships.
Wow. Was this would be like a reptilian or something like that that would do the organ harvesting?
Yeah,
Or
but some of them were reptilians, but the customers were dark dark beings from outer space, and some of them were elite.
wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you
what?
think this ties into? I was just saying real quick, do you think this ties into like the whole human trafficking thing that's going on right now and sex trafficking and all that?
Yeah,
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Rob, my 2 cents on all of that. You have to understand that you remember the phrase "as above, so below."
Mhm.
As
Yeah.
so, there's multi-dimensional levels to trafficking. There's multi-dimensional levels. There's the level here on this earth plane where you traffic people for sex and just domination. There's the level of the loosh harvesting, adrenochrome harvesting, and black magic. It's all
Yeah,
part of the same thing. It's the same kind of, service to self, the anti light brigade, if you want to call
Like
it.
Luciferian, like
Yeah,
Luciferian.
it's just on different dimensional levels, but it's all the same. It's just different dimensional levels, different realities. Here we do it with vans and trucks. Up there they do it with spaceships. It's all the same. It's
Mm,
the harvesting. It's the harvesting of the pure to fuel the dark. So
yeah. Actually, some of them out there are known as pirates.
yeah, they're pirates. Yep.
Wow.
Nanichi, there was a question in the chat.
Oh,
You had mentioned that you were being, you had assassination attempts,
yeah.
and they wanted to know about that. Can you talk about that?
Um, yeah. The first time that I was targeted, I was an out of body. It was astral traveling, and somehow these entities got into my bedroom, and they were actually choking me in my sleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't remember where I was. I think it was in one of the classrooms. One of my classmates turned to me and said, "Oh, you gotta go right now," and pushed me right on the chest, just kind of pushed me, and I snapped back, and I was heaving for breath on my bed, just coughing, and what the hell just happened? And I looked to the side, and I saw this demonic little thing.
You see a lot of those. They're like little gargoyle-y kind of.
Oh, they're terrible.
Mhm.
Have you
Wow.
seen Hellboy?
Yeah, I remembered a little bit. It's faint, but I do remember a little bit.
A lot of movie references. It's so much easier. Well, in Hellboy 2, when they get the tooth fairies, they're similar to those little fairies, only
Wow.
creepier.
Mhm.
Yeah. As, the darkness uses all of that, for programming, but so does the light. They also use those to, expand our consciousness as well.
Mhm.
From movies to music to video games, not just the darkness.
Yeah,
Well,
and
our attraction.
Nanichi, you mentioned something about a red truck.
Mm, yeah, that damn.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. The way I work psychically, uh, use a lot of symbols. I use a lot of symbols. So whenever there is something that I'm not allowed to see or allowed to remember, because that's part of the protocol where where I'm at, I I don't see the entity itself. What I see is a truck, like a big red truck, demonic red truck. And just last week there was an attempt at my life, and this truck was trying to run, not just run over me. It actually um ran into my home.
What do you
And
mean? Like,
well, energetically it ran through, but because I have a lot of protection around my home, not just I have uh sigils, guardians, a lot of things that protected. They were able to stop the spiritual attack, because the purpose was to kill me.
Mhm.
So the next day when I woke up, I had a huge bump on my head. I had bruises on my hands, like I punched something. And it's because I was covering myself from the debris when the truck went through. I was
Yeah,
so
so, we all know this is a multidimensional reality. We only live in a very limited bandwidth of this reality, interacting through these screens electronically. But anybody who knows anything about the astral, it is a dangerous place if you are not
prepared.
prepared or trained to deal with it. You can hear about remote viewers that I know personally. I know personally of a remote viewer who went to go view under the Vatican and was dead within a week because
Wow.
they knew it. They were just, hey, I just want to go and remote view what's under the Vatican, and they didn't protect themselves. And their psychic spies followed him to California, and he was in dead within a week.
Yeah, I've actually been there before, and oh my goodness, I couldn't handle what was happening down there. So I do remember going there. I remember there's documents. There's so much information buried under that space. Even further down, there are like these dungeons, and apparently, I saw something that shook me. So the memory was removed for the time being. But it was tough. And a curious piece of information that I actually recalled not long ago is that the first of all, for the Luciferians, the hell that we think it is, where there's this torture and suffering, for them it's like a big party. It's just having fun. It's a big party. It's like, okay, fair enough, but why am I remembering this? And all of a sudden, I started seeing these priests. And okay, personally, I don't trust priests in general. I don't trust them at all. To me, they're my first suspect. But I was curious, okay, but why are you showing me this? Why am I seeing this? And I started pushing further in. And that's when I got the download that you cannot be a Luciferian priest until you've been a Catholic priest first.
Yeah.
Specifically Catholic. And I was, okay, well, why are you telling me this? Well, not a lot of people know this. And there is so much evidence about it. You can go back 200, 400, 600 years, however far back you want to go. And the atrocities that they committed are out of this world. So, okay, I have this information. What do you want me to do about it? And that's when they told me you have to call Marie. Okay, what is she gonna do with this information? What's going on? And that's when they pushed and they told me you need an interview. You need to get this information out. It's time to it's time to do it. Like, okay, and that day I called I called Marie and said, hey, how's it going? And then she tells me, you know what, I'm doing a new podcast, and I was hoping. I was like, damn, do these people work fast or what?
Yeah, we had a total complete synchronicity within a matter of minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And, but we've already been working, like I said, we've been working together for over a year and a half. And, Nanichy was an agoraphobe. She couldn't leave her house. She had severe anxiety. And with the work that we've done together, she's leaving her house. She's not having panic attacks. It's
anxiety, but it's it's a work in
it's
progress.
managing. I mean, you're managing it. You know,
Yeah.
it's small steps, but there it's very possible to heal your mind through this work.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, as soon as we started working, and I was able to finally talk to someone who knew and could understand, you know, and that's when I started. Oh my God, Marie, you're not gonna believe this, and try me. Okay, I went underground. I saw these things, and there's a demon. Blah blah blah, and that's when everything started just flowing.
Mhm.
But that's what I was told. It's time for the information to come out. So after that happened, that was a week ago, right? About a week or so, maybe 2 weeks.
Couple of weeks, yeah. About
A
a month
couple.
ago, actually. It's been a
And,
month.
yeah, and I was okay. So interesting that we're gonna do this. And as soon as I did that, because I don't look for information or confirmation, I just let it. If it's something I need to know, it will appear itself. And after that happened, I got a lot of notifications from newscasts, independent news, and all talking about Epstein, and that they had officially released the files. So
Mhm.
that's when we got it. Like, oh, I see. People are gonna start freaking out. So they need to hear these other, you know, this whole other area. And that's when it clicked. Because he was also a big part of it.
Mhm.
A lot of those parties in that island were precisely to extract adrenochrome
Mhm.
specifically.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, is there anything else you want to share? We've been going about an hour. Like, is there anything else you
Mhm.
guys want to cover before? I mean, this was a great interview, though. We can even do a part two if you'd like. But this was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a part two and stop here if you want. I know you haven't been feeling very well.
Yeah, it's been really bad. Like I just told the audience, I said I'm gonna have to step back. Sometimes I do 2-3 interviews a day. I think I have one scheduled for tomorrow and maybe one month Sunday or Monday. Like I'm gonna really start taking a break and try to heal myself. Like because I want to get rid of this because I can't work out. I can't. I went for a walk today. I broke out into a huge sweat and I was sweating for like it seems like my body's trying to purge something. Like I've
Mhm.
been sick for a week and it's been horrible. It's like I'm not complaining because everybody gets the flu, but like it's just weird. It almost seems like some kind of like targeting like witchcraft flu or something. I mean, I don't know. It's probably just a regular flu, but I mean, I don't know. Something seems like there's something else going on too because like it's been messing with my head too. Like my thoughts haven't been completely all. I don't know. I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, but
Yeah, take the time to heal your body and you're detoxing. So I would also recommend that you take some zeolite,
yeah,
which
Mm-hmm.
which will absorb whatever it is your cells are purging and your body is having a difficult time
Yeah.
to process whatever the toxins are coming out. Take a zeolite or a charcoal, and it's just it's like a clayish kind of substance, and it will attack to the toxins and relieve them from your system. So
Well,
yeah,
I suggest you try that.
what I'm getting is that your body is telling you to slow down
yeah,
because you work with a lot of people with a lot of dark information or lower vibrational information, and your mind needs time to work through that, and so does your body, because right now you're so charged with that energy that's what's making you sick.
yeah.
I'm seeing uh a gentleman recently interviewed that he was constantly tortured when he
Hmm.
was in the space program, And you've seen him before. You've interviewed him before. That's what I'm seeing. So it's like all that information about it is just stuck with you.
So I need to just release like some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's making you sick.
Wow. Huh. Wow. That's insane. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you guys want to tell everybody where they can? Anne Marie, do you want to go first, and do you want to tell everybody how they can book a session with you and all that? And thank you for setting this up, Anne Marie. This was awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I knew this would be a very accepting and welcoming forum for Nanichy to share her experiences. So, yes, you can find me at my website, ammhypnotherapy.com. I'm a certified transpersonal hypnotherapist, regressionist, and I also have my own modality that was given to me by my Pleiadian aspects called a Starseed Special. And that is where you can connect with your own star family and star aspects. And it's a fantastic modality, and people really just love it. I have them on my YouTube as well. And yeah, and I do intuitive energy healing as well. Some of your listeners have booked sessions with me and have just been so very pleased. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's awesome.
And I don't have anything set up just yet because I don't know what they want me to work with other people. But I do have a channel that I'm starting, and it's called Starseed Nani. And I also have an email, Starseed Nani. You can write there if you have any questions or share any experiences, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. Wow, suddenly I'm feeling so hot. Are you running a fever?
I think I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Right in the middle of my forehead, and my arms are just so sweaty right now.
Wow. I'm sorry if that's coming on. Yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it's bad too. Yeah. It's
Yeah. Do you have any vapor rub?
I have Vicks, yeah.
Well, rub it, you throat, chest, back of your neck, and your forehead, and get into a hot shower. That's gonna
Wait,
help.
so do the Vicks first, but won't the shower wash it off or no?
Not exactly wash it off. Is to activate the menthol.
Okay. So yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Before going to sleep, rub on the bottom of your feet and put on some socks. That will help draw out energetically what you have. Because menthol is a great energetic cleanser.
Yeah, you know what I heard, Nani? I heard like when entities like enter your body. I heard entities enter your body at the crown. They enter at the back of the neck and the bottom of the feet. That's where I heard you. You know, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I would agree with the back of the neck. We have a portal back here.
Yeah, mostly at the back of the neck. That's how they.
Where it goes. Yeah.
That's how most channelers and mediums work. The spirit comes through close to the throat chakra, and that's how they can use our voices and talk with other people.
Mm-hmm. We have a minor chakra at the thymus gland, which is right here. It's called it's the high heart chakra, and the color is turquoise blue. And the back side of it is one of these entry points that entities come and go from. And you can also use frankincense on your back. Frankincense is a very high anti-parasitic, energetic parasitic thing to use. So yeah.
If it's
all
hard
right. Yeah.
Also sage.
Sage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you, and thank you, ladies, for sharing. And have a good night, everybody. And I'll see everybody tomorrow, hopefully. And take care, guys. Good night.
Take